The dog is barking. What's new? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amy. Today I'm here to do radar reads for you guys. These are the books that I have been thinking about reading or have been meaning to pick up, and I might and I might not at that, but I generally have an idea of what books I want to get to next. But I have mentioned this time and time again on my channel. I'm a mood reader. I don't know what I'm going to pick up from one second to the next. So these just happen to be the books that I've been thinking about lately, and hopefully some of them will make it into my wrap up, although there is no guarantee. But if you're interested to see the books that I have been thinking about reading or are meaning to pick up over the course of the next month or so, then go ahead and keep watching. The book that I'm currently reading right now is The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This is a really, really wonderful book about a girl named Vasilisa who's growing up in the mid 14th century in Russia, and so there's a lot of Russian fairy tale, folklore, legend, myth action happening, and I really, really enjoy it. I have a feeling that I will probably be doing a book review so wait for that, but definitely on my radar since I'm currently reading it. And then the second book that I'm reading, I cannot remember who mentioned, but somebody in the Finally Fall book tag mentioned this book as the perfect fall book, and I have never read this. And this is actually technically several novels, shorter novels and short stories, and that is Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I have never read any of the Sherlock Holmes stories or books. I do absolutely love the BBC Sherlock. Obsessed with that show. Probably one of my favorite shows. But I just completely agreed, even though I hadn't read it, that this would be the perfect book to pick up in October, and I plan to do so. I'd like to definitely read A Study in Scarlet, and hopefully we'll get around to it and then maybe dip in and out of the rest of the short stories. We'll see, because this is quite a collection, but that is definitely one that I'm hoping to get to this month. And this month is also VictoBurr, which is hosted by several ladies on BookTube. I'll see if I can find all their information in the announcement video and link it down below for you guys. And essentially, it's a month that's devoted to reading Victorian literature. And as I have never read this book before and feel like I'm the only one who hasn't read this book before, I think that it's time to get around to it. And that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I'm not going to explain what this book is about because, like I said, I feel like I'm the only person that hasn't read this book, and it's time that I read this book. It looks really, really large, but it's only about 530 pages, which is a big book, but it's not huge. So hopefully I will get around to this one. It's a classic that I should have read eons ago, and it's just time to make that happen. And maybe VictoBurr is going to be what kicks me in the butt and finally gets me to read this book. And I would also like to get to another classic this month, and that is Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. I absolutely adored North and South. I think it's a wonderful book, and the BBC miniseries is also on point. Really good. And I've just been hearing a lot about Elizabeth Gaskell, on BookTube at the moment. Amanda Center read a lot of her this month, and then Claire Reads Books, who I've recently discovered has every intention of reading her throughout the month of October for VictoBurr. And I just need to get around to this book. I love North and South so much that I just thought it was time, and I've been thinking about it for a while now. And I also, for those of you who may not know, I'm sure most of you do, I got this book for free on Kindle. There's a lot of classic books that you can get at no cost to you if you have the means to read a book, an ebook, which most people have smartphones, so you definitely have that. But I am really excited to get to this one. I don't know a lot about it, as in what the plot is, other than I'm assuming something with wives and daughters, but I feel like I don't need to know any more than that. It's a classic. Elizabeth Gaskell speaks for herself in her writing, and I'm really, really looking forward to getting to this one. The last book on my list for this month, as far as something that I am meaning to get to, because it's a library book, so I need to have it read before I turn it in, although there have been plenty of times I've turned in library books that haven't been read. But that is The Butcher's Hook by Jenna Ellis. This is a debut novel about a girl who develops a relationship with the butcher's son, but her family is not happy with that decision and thinks that she can do far better because she is from a little bit more of a fluent society. And Honestly, the cover is what drew me in at the library, but I've really been enjoying more family, emotional dramas. I'm hoping that this is going to be a little bit more of what I was hoping to get out of Fire Is Your Water by Jim Minnick, and to be honest, I don't know if this is present day or historical fiction. It wasn't clear in the synopsis, but I'm really excited to get to it, and I've been enjoying dipping into debut novels just because I find that there's a lot more to talk about there. And there's also the excitement of reading someone's book who's never written a book before, or I guess novel in this sense. But I'm also excited about this one, and the cover is just really, really pretty. It's one of those where I almost just want to go out and buy my own copy before I read it, but I might not like it and then may not want a copy. But that's the last book that I have on my radar as far as the month of October. So what books are you guys planning on reading? Or that's my dog freaking out because there's a squirrel in the backyard. What are you guys planning on reading in the month of October? Any recommendations for me? I'm totally open to, especially some spookier reads. I don't do horror. I don't enjoy being scared. That is a concept that I will never quite understand. But something a little bit spookier and creepier, I'm definitely looking for some good recommendations on that. But if you guys like this video, please like it. And if you loved it, please subscribe. And we will see you in my next video. Happy reading! Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amy. Today I am here to do Loki's just derping out. All the couch cushions are coming off the couch at the moment. He's digging in my couch. He lost his mom. And then you will be sure, I'm sure, finish in the month of September. It's not September-y. This is not making any sense whatsoever.